Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Authorbound podcast. I am your host and fellow author, Laura Winter, and I'm really excited because we are 1 week away from National Novel Writing Month. So we are 1 week away from November, and I cannot be more excited than I have for all of the other years. So if you are a fiction writer, I'm kind of assuming you know what it is. But for those of you who are not familiar with NaNoWriMo, it is a month where the writing community joins together and they try to each write a novel of 50,000 words. So from day one, you start with 0 words, and by day 30, you are writing the end on a 50,000 word novel. Now, the awesome part about this is that everybody writes all sorts of different projects. You can plan, you can pants, you can do basically anything you want. You can write flying monkeys in a space opera romance. It does not matter. The point of it is just to have fun and to challenge yourself, to kind of put yourself out there and test something new, maybe even test a new idea. So what makes this month really special to me is that it's actually how I started my writing career. And that gives me a wonderful opportunity to kind of share with you how I was able to get to where I am now using National Novel Writing Month. So when I first discovered this writing challenge, it was actually August. And I was kind of bummed that I still had to wait a few months before I could actually test it out. But, there are no rules. It is all self-motivated. And so my thought was, well, you know what? I had never written fiction at all. I had a blog that was more of like a personal diary than anything. I was documenting my minimalist journey, which if you're on YouTube and you're looking around, you're like, that is not a minimalist. But I had never written fiction before. And so I was really nervous. As an athlete, before this time, it was, you went into things and you had to have practice. You had to know what you were doing. And when you entered those, those games and things like that, you had that confidence. Well, I had 0 whatsoever. And so I saw this as a chance to kind of just start without any pressure. There wasn't any outside influence. There wasn't, somebody waiting for me to succeed or fail. It was all just a test for myself and just a fun challenge that I could take on my own. And so day 1 of August, I decided that I was going to try this out. I was going to do a trial run. And I just remember that first day, I wrote about 250 words of the first chapter, and it was so bad, like hilariously bad. But it was so much fun. I ended up deleting those words, by the way, which the whole point of Nano is not to go back and delete. But it was kind of eye-opening for me, like, wow, there's a whole new world that I can create through fiction and through my writing. And so on day 2, I decided to start over again. So I erased those 250 words that I had written. And by the way, if you want to succeed in a month, you have to write at least 1,667 words every day of the month. And over 30 days, obviously, that's going to add up to just over 50,000 words. But I had to start over. And from that day, I was unstoppable. And I had no idea what I was doing. I had read books before, obviously, but I had never written one myself. I didn't really have a clue what this story idea was going to be. I didn't have a bad guy. I just had a few scene ideas, and I just went into it and had fun. And I actually came out 10 days later with 50,000 words, and they were complete garbage. They are so bad. They're hidden in the depths of my documents, never to see the light of day again, because they were just that bad. But that is what launched my excitement into writing, because without those words, I never would have thought it was possible. I never would have thought that I was capable of writing a full book. And so what happened was, after that, I decided to completely rewrite that book because I actually somewhat liked the idea that I had come up with. And so I ended up rewriting that book, and come November, I actually wrote the sequel of that book during the month of November. I actually ended up finishing that one in about 14 days. And then I started a third book. So I am a little bit crazy, which is totally fine. I didn't have anything going on. I mean, I was just, coaching and traveling for softball and also going to grad school full time. So it was no big deal. So I just had a lot of fun with that. And that sort of started me on this journey, on this writing journey. I realized it was possible, and I realized I had all of these ideas inside me that I could put onto a page, and there was no pressure. I wasn't worried about publishing at the time. I wasn't worried about, showing that work to others. I was writing for myself. And that was the awesome thing about Nano, was that you don't have to show it to anybody. You don't have to create a published book. What you're doing is for you and for you alone. And if you decide to later publish that book, great. That's your prerogative. Obviously, please go through editing before you do that, because I think a lot of writers kind of go in, and starting writers think that, once they come out of November, you have a finished novel and you should just submit it. But that is not the case. Everybody goes through edits, and that's okay. Your first drafts are going to be, a little bit shaky, but the awesome thing is it got me past my inner demons. So it got me over my fears of, what if I'm not good at this? What if I can't write a story? What if I fail? And the great thing is there's no pressure behind National Novel Writing Month. It is just for you to try to get 50,000 words. And maybe you end up taking your story in a completely different direction. But the point of Nano is to just get you out of your comfort zone, get you challenging yourself in a new way and writing a full story and learning what that process looks like, which is why Nano is such an awesome resource for beginner writers, but also for seasoned professionals. Everybody likes to kind of enter this month and just do something for fun. And, some people go on and publish those books. So for those of you who are curious, that first novel that I trashed and kind of rewrote through the days ended up being my first published book, Soul Forgotten. I wrote the sequel, Soul Remembered, during National Novel Writing Month that same year, so during November, and I actually started my third book, my standalone, If Found, Do Not Return, during that month as well. And it was so freeing to be able to find this new creative outlet for myself. And so I wanted to share a little bit of my experience, because I think Nano can help you with your writing. And so if you are still on the fence about whether you're going to participate this month, or whether you're like, hey, I'm ready to do this, let's try it. I will have all the resource links in the post of this page. So if you look at the transcripts and you look at the website for this page, you will see all of these links. Really easy for you guys to just go and look it up and things like that. But Nano can really help you with your writing journey, and I think it's a great launching point for you. So it helps you get over your fears and just kind of start. They have a lot of resources on how to get your novel going and how to come up with a plot for yourself, and all of these really good resources and availability of these, PDFs and Word docs where you can just fill in your story and you can plan out what you want to do, which makes it a whole lot easier. Trust me, I've entered Nano without a plan whatsoever. It's so much easier when you go in with a little bit of an idea, and it's not cheating. You're still starting with a new book. You're just having a little bit, you're making it a little bit easier on yourself, which is totally fine. And the awesome thing is to get 50,000 words in 30 days, it's crazy. You're going to be writing a lot, and you need to carve out that time. And it kind of helps you build this writing habit, and it helps you kind of quiet your inner editor, because you don't have time to press that backspace button a bunch of times. You don't really have time to delete more than 250 words that you write on your first day. You need to kind of keep going and just move your story along, and it forces you to kind of keep up that pace as well. And it's also just fun. I mean, you get to embrace imperfection. How often do you get to write a complete trash novel just for fun and just get back to that reason why you started writing. And I think that's the awesome part, is you can add in as many crazy things as you want. You can write a contemporary or a historical romance and then all of a sudden add in, robots or whatever you want. It is just meant to kind of fill your heart with something that is pure joy again. And there's just no pressure. And that's a really awesome thing to do. So if you are interested in National Novel Writing Month, definitely go NaNoWriMo.org is their website. Feel free to add me. My username on the site is lwinter. So if you guys are interested in adding me and kind of following me along with the journey, I'm going to be participating this year and probably for the rest of time because I love it so much. So if you're interested, add me, lwinter, on NaNoWriMo.org, and we can kind of cheer each other on and get excited about something again and kind of find that love and that passion for writing back. So that's all I have for you on this podcast. Please be sure to subscribe and rate this podcast wherever you're listening. And if you're on YouTube, definitely give that the thumbs up and check us out. You can also follow our blog. So I'm going to be continuing to post blogs and resources to help you on your self-publishing journey. So whether that's writing, marketing, publishing, all those sorts of things, keeping your life balanced, especially during Nano when you're writing all of these words all the time, you could check it out at authorboundpress.com. Or if you're considering supporting us to keep these blogs coming, keep this podcast going, keep these YouTube videos coming where you get features of my cats running around like crazy in the background, which is hilarious, and probably you can hear their little screams every once in a while. But support us on patreon.com/authorbound, and I will see you guys next week.